Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, here on Hotwire. It's the blue Protoss playing for Alpha X. Makes a noise for Classic. His opponent in the red instead, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it's Hero. Of course, winner's match is not where the real tension is at. Whoever loses this series still has a shot at advancing to the playoffs in the last match, last best of 3, against the loser's match winner, so against either Bian or Rogue, which is honestly going to be a very crazy series. The level of this group is so high. We're talking about a group of death level in a GSL tournament. Still, pretty much anyone can advance to the next stage. Hero slightly quicker with his early game. Gonna have a slightly quicker slightly quicker cybernetic score and slightly quicker second gateway. But it's all about the first 2 units. There's so many combos of first 2 units that you can go for in this matchup. Stalker Sentry, Stalker Stalker, Adapt Adapt, Adapt Sentry. So many things you can do. Okay, Stalker Adapt on the side of Hero, and it's Stalker Stalker on the side of Classic. Stalker Adapt used mostly for getting some scouting information with the Adapt. Stalker Stalker being a little bit more aggressive or more defensive, being just overall the best fighting combo of units. Stalker advantage, of course, can be a thing, and with the Adapt being out, it's going to be, of course, a Stargate incoming from Hero. Classic is going to drop down a pylon to see whichever units are going to be popping out of those gateways. Adapt incoming for Classic as well, with a Stargate incoming. So trying to get even more scouting information, trying to maybe get a couple probes killed. With a good old pylon block, Hero is going to try and stop it. Classic trying to play a little bit more aggressive than his opponent. The two Stalkers getting over here, seeing only the one Stalker being out for Hero. Of course, Classic is going to take a favorable trade. It's Phoenix first on the side of Hero. At a change of his mind on Oracle first. Over here, the pylon will complete, forcing Classic not to take his Nexus for a little while. And sending actually Stalkers back home to deal with it. It's time for the 2 Adapts to get into business instead. We're gonna be waiting for Hero to drop down the pile. Oh, there's no probe over here actually. 2 Adapts in your main base can be very deadly. There's a shield battery? No, there isn't actually. Meanwhile, 1 Adept, just the 1, already killed 2 probes on the side of Classic. Here comes the Adepts being raised up in the skies very quickly by Hero, not even batting an eye. Who needs a pylon block when I can just lift those Adepts up? Still good scouting information for Classic, seeing the Phoenixes will decide not to go in with his Oracle. And actually taking his natural over here on 3rd. Interesting. Twilight Council almost completed for Classic, halfway through for Hero, but the Phoenixes are flying out, ready to get something done. We do not see much else coming out of Classic's Stargate. Over here, Shield Battery is gonna help a lot keeping these probes alive. Not for long. Once shots are coordinated, probes are gonna go down very quickly. 3 probes going down indeed. But it's now time for the Oracle to fly in. There's 3 Stalkers over here. They do not have Blink. 3 Stalkers on the other side. And yeah, this is going to be a dead Oracle as soon as the Phoenixes fly into position. Oh, will they? The Stalkers are unable to intercept the Phoenix And the Oracle will retreat back into position with the Stalkers. Very clean defense of the Oracle by Classic, keeping it alive for the skin of his teeth. Both players getting into Blink territory, and a Robo incoming from Hero, probably trying to get something more aggressive ongoing with a Warp Prism, and even Observers being added to the mix to try and get some more scouting information, as well as, of course, the best unit in the matchup, which is Immortals. Well, there's Archons, but Immortals are just as good, if not better, in this current situation, with both armies being mostly made of just Stalkers, which absolutely melt to the shots of Immortals, so you know the drill. Of course, the first few units are going to be Observers out of these Robos, much more needed to keep full track of both Oracles and Phoenixes alike. Linking left and right to kill those Phoenixes is Classic, but they will stay alive and ready to strike at a later time. Phoenix are going to be recalled. Them being alive is always going to be a little bit of a thorn in the side of Classic, who's always going to have to remember that these Phoenixes are alive and they can pose some trouble. But it's much easier to keep track of the Oracle, especially with it being so low on health. Oracle being sent out to check if the Phoenixes are still there, and they're not. Hero sending many Stalkers out. How many Stalkers does he have? 17 against the 12 of his opponent. Classic is a little bit higher on workers. Charge on its way for the Protoss player with how many gateways? 2 against the 4 of Hero. 5 more being added into the mix by Classic, but the Hero wants to play a little bit more aggressive, wants to stop this third base from ever being a thing. Stasis Board being spread around, a plane forward from Hero will get a sentry or two. These Stalkers are not high in number, but here comes a Stasis Board, and that's a marvelous one. It looks like Classic can bring the fight to Hero this time. And these Stalkers over here are in real danger. Hero waiting for them to be free from the Stasis Ward. Over here, it looks like the sentries are doing much of the work with the Guardian Shield, but it's just not enough. Too many Stalkers out there for the red player, and Hero will take the series in quite an anticlimactic way. Alright, here we go. Spawning in top left hand corner and playing for Alpha X. He needs 2 in a row to advance to the playoff stage. Can he make some magic happen on Curious Minds? It's Classic. His opponent in the red instead, playing for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He only needs 1 more, and he has 2 shots, actually 5 considering how GSL groups work. But he wants to make it happen right here, right now. Make some noise for Hero. Just a little bit of a fun curiosity for you guys. Hero wasn't even supposed to be playing in this tournament. He replaced Astrea, who declined his invite, as you can see on our Liquipedia page for this Ultimate Showdown number 12. He replaced Astrea and is currently 1 match away from advancing to the playoffs. Very clean run so far by Hero. And let's see if he's able to keep it up in his second set against Classic. Ooh. Actually, a Zealot first from Hero. Not what I was expecting. I'm not on Curious Minds, you have a ramp, so it's much easier to defend than in most other maps. You're just gonna... Oh, it's a Zealot first also for Classic, actually. So both players are trying to go for a wall-off, or trying to avoid the second gateway. For a little while, of course. Ooh, yeah, baby. That's what he's all about. Hero going for the full wall-off, by the way. With a Zealot currently shooing his probe around both players. With a Stargate being scouted. With Hero dropping on a pylon as well. In this location. I do believe this is not a full wall-off on the side of Classic. Let me just tilt around. Maybe zoom a little. Yeah, it's definitely not a full wall-off. Units have been walking out of there. So, definitely not a full wall-off. Yeah. On the side of Hero though, this pylon is not going up. He's going to see the first unit in production out of this gateway though. He's going to see this is going to be a Phoenix first, which is already good information for Classic. Oh, this is not a full wall as well. I'm sorry guys, I didn't see this little line over here. Adept in the main base of Classic, already causing a ruckus, shading around in circles and killing 4 probes. Oh, poor Classic. It's a little bit of a bummer. Over here you can see who's the aggressor. Phoenix already out and into business with 1 Stalker to defend it. And Hero already getting stuff done. Trying to kill this pylon, trying to stop Classic from getting a fur base. Hero not really getting into fur base territory yet. We're just now taking his natural. Oh, that's why. Oh yeah, he didn't even kill this pylon. Classic. Risking it out a little bit. He could have just killed the pylon at a slightly later nexus. He decided to go for a faster nexus, but in a much more dangerous location. Fighting target against target is not really going to matter, but the ground transition would be much easier for Hero than it is going to be for Classic. That's almost a fact. Is 1 Zealot trying its best to stay alive, but it will be chased around. This pylon is still up, by the way. Still having a lot of info about whatever is happening right now. Basically, Classic is showing his full end, and Hero is just basically reacting with something very similar, adding a second Stargate to the mix to counter the full Stargate style out of Classic as well. Trying to have more Phoenixes on the field, and once you win the Phoenix battle, there's pretty much nothing else that can be done in this matchup. Because Phoenixes are just going to wreck through your economy at standing speed. At this stage, honestly, it's much more important to keep track of the Phoenix count. It's going to be 5 against 5 for the time being, with 2 Stalkers on the field for Classic and just 1 for Hero. You can see the second Stargate being added into mix. Flip Beacon instead incoming for Classic, trying to add range to these Phoenixes, and once they have range, they're gonna have such favorable traits, being able to not only get the first few shots earlier, but also kite around and have an overall advantage that can be game ending if Hero is not careful about it. Yes, he might have the Phoenix advantage, but he's gonna be playing on lower tech. 9 Phoenixes against 7. The Flip Beacon is completing right now, and here comes Phoenix range. Immediately started by Classic. Can he keep his Phoenixes alive long enough for range to kick in? 2 Stalkers against 2 Stalkers, never gonna be a big problem, especially with the shield battery behind this for Classic. Shield battery overcharged, still pretty much a threat for a Hero who's not really expecting Phoenix range yet. A second target isn't coming from Classic as well. Probe being lifted up in the sky before he can drop down a 4th Nexus. Actually, 3rd Nexus. Classic still has to take his natural. Phoenix is flying into the main, and they will see the Flip Beacon completing Phoenix range just about now. And here they go. You can see Classic trying to kite backwards, but Hero going for a full dive will win this first engagement between Phoenixes. Classic can still get the first few shots, but Hero turns just at the right moment, not getting the most shots possible. And it looks like in this moment, Hero will still be keeping the Phoenix advantage, but he's not. Oh my god, more Phoenixes coming for a full surround, and now that they're diving on top of the Phoenix's, range will not matter at all. A little bit of a blunder from Classic, and Hero easily takes game number 2 as well.